The story of Native Americans begins long before written records. It starts during the last ice age. Thousands of years ago, a land bridge connected Asia and North America. People walked across this bridge following herds of animals. They were hunters and gatherers, seeking new lands and resources. These first Americans spread across the continents. They adapted to different environments. From the Arctic to the Amazon, they made North and South America their home. This was the beginning of a rich and diverse history. These early migrations were gradual. People moved in small groups. They followed the game and the seasons. Over centuries, they spread across the Americas. They established distinct cultures and traditions. These first Americans are the ancestors of today's Native American tribes. Their journey marks the beginning of human presence in the Western Hemisphere. Over thousands of years, Native American cultures flourished. They developed complex societies and unique ways of life. In North America, the Pueblo people built impressive cliff dwellings. They were skilled farmers and astronomers. The Mississippian cultures built large earthen mounds. These mounds served as ceremonial centers and burial sites. These civilizations show the ingenuity and sophistication of early Native Americans. In South America, the Inca Empire arose in the Andes Mountains. They were known for their advanced agriculture and road systems. The Maya civilization thrived in Central America. They developed a complex writing system and calendar. These civilizations were not isolated. They engaged in trade and cultural exchange. They left behind remarkable achievements in art, architecture, and knowledge. Before the arrival of Europeans, North and South America were home to a remarkable diversity of cultures. Hundreds of distinct tribes and nations thrived across the continents. Each group had its own language, beliefs, and traditions. Some were nomadic, following herds of bison across the Great Plains. Others were settled farmers, cultivating maize, beans, and squash. Despite their differences, Native American tribes were connected through trade networks. These networks spanned vast distances, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas. Shells from the coast found their way inland. Obsidian, a volcanic glass, was traded from distant mountains. These trade routes fostered cultural diffusion. They demonstrate the interconnectedness of Native American societies before European contact.
Section 5. Broken Promises and Forced Journeys, Removal and Reservations. The 19th century witnessed the systematic displacement of Native Americans from their ancestral lands. The United States government adopted a policy of Indian removal. This policy aimed to open up land east of the Mississippi River for white settlement. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 authorized the forced relocation of tribes to designated territories west of the Mississippi. These forced removals, often carried out under duress and with great suffering, became known as the Trail of Tears. The Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole tribes endured unimaginable hardships during these relocations. Thousands perished from disease, starvation, and exposure. The reservation system further confined Native Americans to limited territories. These reservations were often located on undesirable lands. The U.S. government promised to protect these lands. However, these promises were often broken.
Section 6. Fighting for survival, resistance, and resilience in the 19th century. Despite facing overwhelming odds, Native Americans resisted displacement and cultural erasure. Throughout the 19th century, tribes across the West engaged in numerous conflicts with the U.S. Army. Leaders like Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and Geronimo became symbols of resistance. They fought to protect their people, their lands, and their way of life. The Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876 stands as a testament to Native American resistance. The Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes, led by Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, achieved a decisive victory against the U.S. 7th Cavalry. This victory, though short-lived, demonstrated the strength and determination of Native American warriors. Even in defeat, Native Americans displayed remarkable resilience. They clung to their traditions and languages. They passed down their stories and beliefs to younger generations. This resilience helped preserve their cultural identity in the face of assimilationist policies.
Section 7. A New Century, the Same Struggles Native Americans in the Early 1900s. The dawn of the 20th century brought little relief for Native Americans. Assimilationist policies continued to target their cultures and ways of life. The Dawes Act of 1887 aimed to break up tribal landholdings. It sought to make individual landowners of tribal members. This act had a devastating impact on tribal sovereignty. It eroded traditional land tenure systems. Native American children were forcibly removed from their families. They were sent to government-run boarding schools. These schools sought to strip them of their languages and cultures. Children were punished for speaking their native tongues. They were forced to adopt European American customs. The trauma inflicted by these boarding schools continues to affect Native American communities today.
Section 8. A Rising Tide. The Native American Civil Rights Movement. The mid-20th century witnessed the rise of the civil rights movement. Native Americans joined the fight for equality and justice. Inspired by the African American civil rights movement, Native activists challenged discriminatory policies. They demanded recognition of treaty rights and tribal sovereignty. Organizations like the American Indian Movement, or AIM, emerged in the 1960s. They confronted injustice and advocated for self-determination. The occupation of Alcatraz Island in 1969 brought national attention to Native American grievances. Activists demanded the island be returned to Native American control. They cited broken treaties and the government's failure to honor its promises.
Section 9. Reclaiming Identity, Cultural Revival, and Self-Determination. The late 20th century marked a period of cultural revival and self-determination for Native Americans. Tribes fought for and won greater control over their affairs. They sought to revitalize their languages, traditions, and spiritual practices. The passage of the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act of 1975 represented a significant victory. This act gave tribes more autonomy in managing their own affairs. It led to improvements in education, healthcare, and economic development. Native American artists, writers, and filmmakers gained recognition. They shared their stories and perspectives with the wider world. This cultural renaissance helped foster a renewed sense of pride and identity.
Section 10. Unfinished Business, Contemporary Challenges and Advocacy. While progress has been made, Native Americans continue to face significant challenges in the 21st century. Poverty, unemployment, and health disparities remain persistent issues. The legacy of historical trauma continues to affect communities. Native Americans are at the forefront of the fight against climate change. They are disproportionately affected by environmental degradation. Many tribes are working to protect their ancestral lands and resources from pollution and exploitation. Despite these challenges, Native American communities continue to demonstrate their resilience. They are advocating for their rights, preserving their cultures, and shaping their own destinies.
Section 11. Enduring Legacy, the Strength and Spirit of Native Americans. The story of Native Americans is one of resilience, resistance, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. From their arrival thousands of years ago to their ongoing struggles for justice and equality, they have left an indelible mark on the history and culture of North and South America. Their contributions to art, music, storytelling, and traditional knowledge continue to enrich the world. Their enduring connection to the land and their deep spiritual beliefs serve as an inspiration. It reminds us of the importance of respecting all cultures and protecting our planet. As we move forward, it is essential to listen to the voices of Native Americans. We must learn from their experiences and work together to create a more just and equitable future for all.